Well, dear, let me continue actually to the next topic, and this is the fifth part of this lecture here, three-step interview. This is another technique that needs to be applied within the class there, okay? Overview of the three-step interview is an effective way to encourage students to share their thinking, ask questions, and take notes, all right? It works best with 3 students per group, okay? Three-step interview. 3 students per group, but it can be modified for students of 4 as well. Its steps are that place students into groups of 3, assign each student a letter and a role. Example, a interviewer, okay, one it should be interviewer, interviewee. I mean a person. Interviewer means a person who asks questions, who takes interview. An interviewer, a person who gives interview, who is asked actually question. And C means reporter. He has to report what exactly happened between the two. So this is a 3-step interview. Okay. Rotate roles after each interview so that everybody can understand. Have students to do a round robin and share the key. All right. Information they recorded when they were person C. Okay. So and hence in management ideas, questioning. Remember, in all this lecture, you have been noticing one thing, that is actually participation in questioning and discussion. Before students try this strategy, have them explore the types of question reporter ask, and at what point the interview they ask them. Okay. Reinforcing means stressing the need to take time. Okay. Talk about the issue of taking time to think or deciding whether or not to answer a question during an interview. You have to in the meanwhile think about it. Using recording sheets. Consider providing students with recording sheets to use when they are in the role of a reporter. Okay. Some sheets should be given so that the reporter records them and then he reports. Determining the length of time for each interview. Depending on the age of your student and their experience with this cooperative learning strategy, you may have to adjust the length of time for an interview. Like for example, if you are taking a class with a junior, so keeping in view their age range, you should try to give such topics on which they can say, and they should not be a task more than the required time. Rather a brief time should be given to them for the accomplishment of their task. But I think so far this technique is concerned, in higher classes the time can be more and more. There should be some benefits of this 3-step interview. 3-step interview creates simultaneous accountability. Okay, simultaneous means which is happening at the same time. All right, so everybody is responsible at that time. Okay, students share and apply different questioning strategies. Okay, and over time students can be introduced to different taxonomies of thinking to extend their ability to use different levels of questioning and thinking. Okay. Now, send a problem. This is obviously another part of actually this cooperative learning. Send a problem. Student teams participate in a series of problem solving rounds and then evaluate an alternative solution offered by different groups. Okay, a problem is given to the student and different groups are asked to come up with the solution. So some of the solutions are very, very pleasing and entertaining, while some of them are not. Groups of 2 to 4 students work on different problems during the same period of time. When can you use it? Cooperative learning can be used in any class at any level with any subject area, remember. So all the techniques, all the approaches in all the preceding detail tell you indeed that you can make use of cooperative learning at any level, at any stage, in any subject, anywhere. So we can say cooperative learning works well when it is a part of a culture of a classroom, and when the students are familiar with working together and know what is expected of them. So remember, this is actually in brief it's said about the cooperative learning. This cooperative learning is indeed, very good indeed, and it it works better, and it contributes for establishing a culture of a cooperative and interactive mixture in a classroom, and thus the student become familiar with working together, and thus the sense of togetherness is created in them, and thus they become socially interactive, and they become so good indeed. Then we move on to the discovery approach by Jerome Bruna, right? Discovery approach. This is the very name signifies that actually in this some discovery takes place. The lesson proceeds through a hierarchy of stages, which may be associated with Brunner levels of thought. These stages are the following. Okay. There's a little bit problem. So the stages are the following: inactive, all right, level. At this stage, the students perform hands-on activities directly related to what is to be delivered. Okay, the students on activities directly related to what is to be discovered. Iconic level. Sorry, I said iconic, but it's iconic level. After the students have done the hands-on activity and gained some experiences, the teacher directs the thinking of the student using experimental situations to dismantle images or model of the object choose upon which the discovery is to be based. And then symbolic. Okay, symbolic level. At this point, the students are guided to replace mental images with symbol. Okay, to increase generality and abstraction. Like, for example, some ideas are given to the students, and they are actually then made to symbolically represent those ideas and the images that are given to them there. Okay, which eventually results in the discovery planned by the teacher in advance. Okay. And then we have an integrated approach. It makes the teacher connects to other lessons of the same subject interdisciplinary. Okay, or connects his or her lesson with other subjects, making his or her approach interdisciplinary. All right. So I stop here for a while, and then I'll come back as some guests come.